Hey everyone, welcome back to What Drives Her podcast. I'm here with Scotty, Reiss. How are you? Where have you been?
Hi, Natalie. Good to see you. So I just came back from Georgia where we drove the Hyundai Ioniq 9 and we toured their brand new Meta factory, which is where they build the Ioniq 9 and the Ioniq 5. And so interestingly, those cars are American made, even though Hyundai is a global brand. They're American made, a lot of American parts, a lot of American uh, details, and they roll off the line and onto a rail line and to wherever they're going to be delivered in North America, which is a pretty cool detail.
Well, that's amazing. I love Hyundai. Growing their market share from 8% to 10%. It's insane, but with good reason. I would say, especially over the last 4 years, getting a more diverse group of people in leadership is so important.
Yeah, and it's interesting. They definitely have grown the diversity of the leadership there, and that's a company that like so many of those that sort of bubble under that 10% market share number,
Right.
and they're trying to break it. Like that's the goal, to break 10%. And it was only after they added all of these diverse leadership, people who um, are not white men into leadership roles that they were able to break that barrier. And that's one of the things that makes that company so cool. If you think about it, Jose Munoz, who now is the global CEO, Randy Parker, who's their head of sales, Olabisi Boyle, who's been on this podcast before, who is the head of engineering in the United States. And today's guest, Claudia Marquez, COO for Hyundai Motor America, who is a Mexican woman and such a great leader. So I'm excited to share this podcast with everyone. Are you ready, Natalie?
We're ready. Let's
All
take a
right.
listen.
Hi, Claudia.
Hi, Scotty.
It's so good to see you. And it's about time that I came back, that we have this conversation, because the last time that you and that we interviewed you, it wasn't me, it was one of our writers interviewed
Yeah.
you, Tati Padilla,
Yes.
spoke with you, and you were president of Hyundai Mexico. And now you've changed jobs a couple times. What's your title
That's
now?
right. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Hyundai Motor America since January.
Chief
2024.
Operating Officer, Hyundai Motor America.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very excited.
That's a huge job. That is a huge job.
It is.
So, in the grand scheme of things, where is Hyundai in the United States, North America market? Like the tiniest, the middle, the largest?
No. I mean, it's great. I mean, before I tell you what you want to hear, at least I want to say as well that for the past 4 years, it has been for Hyundai a record year, and we expect that this is the fifth year that we have consecutive breaking records. So we are in fifth position, and I mean, growing and conquesting and taking care of the customers and everything that a great brand as Hyundai should be doing.
And I would say it feels to me like you're number one because you are everywhere. We're going to talk about Hyundai because there's some really exciting things going on. But I want to talk about what you've been doing for the last 4 years, 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, as you were saying, I joined Hyundai Motor Company precisely in Mexico in November 2019. And I did the CEO job for 2 years, and then I was invited to come to the US and run operations as COO of Genesis Motor North America, which I did for 3 years till this early January, and now I got this new job, which is great. It's a new assignment, full of opportunities, full of challenges, and operations is what I really love. Just the wiring and math and numbers and strategy. Actually, I enjoy it a lot.
Once you learn math, it's fun.
But if not, run for your life. As I say, so run for your life. So I like to connect all the important businesses and functions to deliver the best possible result.
What was it that so before I ask the question, I'm going to say the progress of Genesis over the last few years has been astounding. The number of cars that have been introduced, the way that the brand has really grown. What are you proudest of when it comes to Genesis?
So, of course, you have to be proud of the products because they are just fantastic. I don't think anyone will doubt that. Which for someone that represents a brand, obviously, product is the king. So when you have that, then you have most of it. However, of course, one of the challenges and opportunities for Genesis is that Genesis is still a very young brand. So it's going to be now 10 years that the brand was launched globally, in the US a little bit less. And of course, awareness of the brand was one of my main objectives, because of course the more customers and eyeballs you capture, the better will be in many ways. So we did great. We did great. Of course, we still have a way to go, but that part was very, very important. And the other one that I have to admit as well and say with proud is the standalone Genesis facilities. Of course, you have this great brand with these great products, and you had to have dealers, exclusive Genesis dealers that are representing and supporting the brand. So that is also one of the things that I believe when we open the first one, it's like the light at the end of the tunnel, and then you go inside like, this is impressive, right? So today, and I don't have the numbers exactly on my head, as now I'm doing Hyundai, but there are over 70 exclusive dealerships throughout the country that represent the brand in the way the brand deserves, and the customers, of course.
Yeah, and to be able to put the brand promise forward in a way that's meaningful is so important, especially with a luxury brand. So last night, Genesis announced a couple of things: the hypercar and the concept off-roader. What about the future of Genesis do you think is the most exciting?
Still, this new racing part is impressive. Is amazingly exciting, because of course, again, we're talking about a new brand, and now you are going to elevate the brand to levels of brands that have been established for years and years and years. So you were at Genesis House yesterday, you saw the prototypes, you saw the car, and everything you see there is passion, is investment, a lot of effort, is love, is collaboration. So I see that, and it's like, oh my God, I miss them on that side of the fence. But everything is positive and looks the future looks bright.
Well, you have that on this side of the fence, though, with Hyundai and.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. So of course today we're here, and the start of the day for us is obviously Palisades. You just hear the press conference. It's the second generation, as you know, 2026 Palisades, that I am extremely happy to have for the first time hybrid powertrain, which obviously wasn't the case before. This is why I'm extremely happy today. The design is again, talking about product, and you see it from the outside, and it's what captures you in the first place. This bold design, every time better. A great interior as well, but of course safety, technology, and then the XRT Pro, which also you can see not only from the outside the difference more clearly than before, but obviously the capability is way better. So we have Palisades, and I'm excited to be it's going to be my second launch. Today is a reveal, but we're going to have a launch very soon, which was a reveal in LA last November, which is Ioniq 9. That's going to happen very soon. So if I get to do this new job in these 3 months, and my first great launches is going to be Palisades and Ioniq 9, I think I'm starting with a lot of luck.
Yes, I think you are. Well, the best cars are always the big SUVs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The ones where the most people can fit in the car are so special.
Yeah.
And so, what does the the Ioniq 9, which is now a 3-row SUV that's all electric, and the new Palisade. What does that mean to the future of Hyundai?
So, I mean, both have a very core situation position in what it means for us in the future. And I think I cannot avoid, first of all, mentioning the big investments that our company has been doing in the US. I mean, it has been, I think, it's 40 years already, Hyundai in the US, with strong
40 years. Wow.
40, right? It was
around there, yeah.
1986.
That's hard to believe.
Oh my God! Oh my God! So we have a great, and one factory in Alabama, building many vehicles that we of course sell in the U.S. And then a couple of weeks ago, as you know, we inaugurated the new facility in Savannah, Georgia. And I have to mention about Savannah, Georgia, because of course it's the new kid on the block, and it's outstanding. But also the investment was confirmed in 2019. Building a factory in less than 3 years is not an easy thing to do.
Oh, it's not?
No. I mean, I know.
I mean,
we joke a lot on that. For example, when we're seeing buildings or the new facilities for our dealerships, like it's going to take like 15 months. How can that be? If I mean, Hyundai could really build a factory in less than 3 years, and it's not a factory; it's impressive. So we are producing the Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 9, our two EVs, not the only we have, but these are the models we are producing. So it's great for me to confirm that of course the investment and the heart and the focus is the U.S., investing in the U.S. About 40% of the vehicles that were sold in 2024, 836 were vehicles built in the U.S.
wow.
And again, I'm saying this a lot because, of course, it's the topic of the moment. And and Hyundai is, I mean, wanting and will continue growing with the U.S. in the long term. So we're here to stay. Localization is key.
And how important is electrification, so EVs and batteries, to Hyundai building in the United States?
Electrification is very important because we truly believe is where the growth is going to come in the long term.
Yeah.
So we know and we have seen it. I mean, we do this for a living, that the adoption is a little bit lower than what we thought it was going to be, and what we have seen in the last almost a year, a little bit less than that. But the most important thing in the end is long term is the growth is coming, and for us as well is you have a powertrain for every consumer, and hybrids is a great way as well for going in the middle for those customers that are still not ready. So it's key, and we are going to continue.
Well, the Palisade hybrid, you're right. That's really big. That's big for those buyers who have that many people to not have to stop at the gas station all the time.
And you can see that now in March, last March, which is of course the last month we have closed completely. Now we are running April, but still not closed. I mean, we had a sales record for, March, the second ever, best ever.
Wow.
But what I wanted to mention is that the growth on hybrids was 72% in comparison to March previous year.
Wow.
And when it comes to EVs, 38%. So 38% is not a small percentage, right?
Yeah. If I get a 38% raise month to month, I'd be very happy. You'd be very happy, right?
I would be extremely happy. Can you talk to my bosses? Yeah. Yes.
So let's talk about how you got to this job, Claudia. This is first of all, operations. So not the soft stuff. This is the hard stuff that you do. A lot of math. What is it about that job that appeals to you?
That's what I like to do. I am good in details. I'm good in connecting things. And I believe I have developed throughout these almost 30 years in many jobs I have done good skills when it comes to product pricing, incentive, distribution, sales, operations, connecting, car flows, numbers. So it's like one day I say this really out of my heart because I love to cook as well, right? So I was telling is when you cook, And depending on the spices, you will have more or less the same outcome with different ways of getting there. So when I see a spreadsheet in front of me with a car flow, seeing all the vehicles are coming in, it's like, okay, we can do A, B, C. And this really, I mean, I'm thrilled about it. It's like playing an amazing game. So I got to this point after many years just because I started for the bottom and I have done most of the jobs. And for many brands, for many countries, and now it's like you're here and it's like, hey, I get to control operations for Hyundai in the US. That's great.
Well, it's an incredible job, and it's incredible to see you in this job. Were there people in your life maybe who taught you or mentored you and helped prepare you for this role?
I will say that I had a lot of sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm saying now sponsors rather than mentors. And I had a couple of them, but sponsors, I think it helped me even more. And sponsors are those people that at some point in time they hear about, like, hey, I'm looking for whatever job and skills, and someone, and you are not next, is like, talk to Claudia. Have you seen Claudia? And that happened to me many years, and I got to realize that after the fact. So what I say is, you have to try to do always what is best, what is right. You have to be strong. You have to be excellent. And many times you don't even know who's going to be next to you, that at some point in time is going to recommend you. And then it goes to a better positions and recommendations. Mentors, I work 17 years for the Germans, as you know. I had dinner with probably the mentor I had in BMW. I'm in Dubai in December, still a friend after 20-something years. Randy Parker is someone that I have also as my mentor, as a very good friend. You look into Jose Munoz. Now is my anniversary with him, 13 years. So what I can tell you today that I like also about this new position is that I work with friends. And working with friends is great, and it's not easy. And still trying to learn and enjoy. Enjoy is important. Enjoy, yeah.
So what advice would you have for women who find themselves in a place where maybe it's friends they work with, they really love what they do, but they want to grow their career?
I think the first one is you have to have very clear what you want, which is complicated for us. Of course, when we start working and there is many things in front, we want to try to do everything because that's a little bit the way women are wired. First of all, define what you want. Be very clear on that, and then just be strong. Just be smart in the way you do things. Try to avoid thinking what others will think about that. When we talk about the industry and you have so many men, and it's like, if I say this, what are they going to think? Who cares? The most important thing is, what do you care? What do you think is going to be the right decision? And just fight for that. And again, baby, be consistent. That's very important. Be brave, and be smart. And when I'm saying smart again is, don't allow anyone to shout at you.
That's amazing. Why is automotive a good place for women to work?
Because we're different. Because we bring a different view to the table, and this world is amazingly competitive. So just for the fact that we are different, we see things in different perspective. The possibility of coming to more integral strategies and afterwards execution is key.
So you told me a story about one of the most impossible things. I don't think I would have handled the way that you did, but it was pretty brilliant. Tell me the story about this dealer meeting.
So this was many years ago, and actually it was a board meeting. I still used to work for the German company, And we were at the boardroom hearing 3 sales pitch of what was going to be one BMW dealer appointed. So I was back then responsible for sales marketing and dealer development. And I knew all of these 3 candidates. So the day that were going to present themselves, he arrived, the first candidate, and a little bit late, but that's a different story. And I'm in this boardroom, all men, all German, and me. I mean, he when he comes late and he stands there, he's going to start, and then he looks at me, and I'm sitting again as head of sales marketing and D&D, and one of the person that was going to have an important influence in the decision, and he just looked at me and said, "Bring me a coffee." So he's standing there, and hey, Claudia, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm late. And he knows me. Would you mind? No. He says to me, "Bring me a coffee." So and now I'm laughing. All of my colleagues, my German men colleagues, look at me because they know me, and of course I have a little bit of strong character, and I had really a second to decide what am I going to do. So I look at him and I said, "Of course." I stood up and I said, "Of course. How do you take it? How do you drink it?" And he said, "Like black." "Of course." So I went, I served him coffee, and I sat down. Of course I was pissed. Many things. It's like, no, you have to be the bigger person. So, in the end, he left, and he was not a final candidate, not because of the coffee, but he was not a final candidate. But it was important because it was also part of the culture of the company. Respect, and the story. Did I tell you how the story finished? So the second part of the story, and Michelle, now we are listening to this one. So a couple of months after that, I never saw him again, right? A couple of months after that, I'm in this Mexican restaurant, or restaurant in Mexico. And Friday our dinner, and then I go to the restrooms, and when I'm walking in there, I turn my head and I see him sitting on a table with someone. And he stands up immediately, like, "Claudia, how are you? Fine, you? Fine, thank you. Claudia, now that I see you, I need to ask you a question." I go, "Of course." I really thought I was going to get that dealership. So what happened? And I said, "You asked me for a coffee. Have a good night." And that was it.
I love it.
I didn't plan for that to happen, but and the story continues, but that will have to be.
How did your leadership respond when they must have sat and watched this man ask you to get him a coffee, and then you did it? What was their response?
So in that moment, and again, Germans, which is also a very different culture, they look at me, they knew it was wrong. They were not very sure how I want to act, and depending on it, it was the president of BMW Mexico, and then we all the direct reports, right? What they expect, I don't know. Probably like Claudia, she acts and reacts. Let's see what she answers. But again, this is. You are a leader. This is a serious environment, and I just didn't allow to show that bothered me. And many times I do that, and many times things do bother me.
It's hard to hold that back, especially when it's an insulting thing. But look where you are now.
Thank you, Scotty.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, Claudia.
Of course, thank you for always being interested in me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
So I'm going to say, Natalie, every time I see Claudia Marquez, whether I see her in person or I see her speak or I see her interviewed, it is a highlight. She is so dynamic. But I have to ask you, what does it mean to you, a Latina woman, to see a woman like Claudia in the role that she's in?
It's awe-inspiring to see, a Latina in leadership and to also be unapologetic and just be so strong in her role. And it's very, very inspiring. And the more that we have women in leadership, especially of diverse backgrounds, it helps, not only just our group, but like everyone, because now there's more integration in the design, the way that we talk to people, that we share, and we share those drives together. And it's really exciting to see how Hyundai is taking that to the next level in the world.
Do you get the feeling, seeing a woman like her rise to that level, does it give you the feeling that because there are men who have to see her and recognize her in that role, that they now see other Latina women differently too?
I think so, because, coming from that strong matriarch background, it was always, in our community, it's always like, you look to your mom, like your mama that's the word, that's it. So to see, more women coming into those powerful roles and leadership definitely helps those men see us in a different way too, of like, what, we are, having that equal opportunity and access, like we can work together and collaborate towards a better future, especially with cars.
Yeah. Well, it's important, I think, especially with cars, because the automotive industry needs good people. A lot of industries, people flock to that industry. You think about entertainment, any of like the sort of the sexier industries that are more glamorous, they're prettier, fashion, beauty products, those entertainment, those places, ironically, they're also the lowest paying, but they're the ones that have the widest choice of the talent pool, and they get to pick the most perfect candidates and pay them the least. Whereas automotive is really struggles because it's just not the sexiest on the outside. There's so much, I don't know, there's so much I think that the automotive industry is not played up, that it is really is beautiful and interesting. I think that's one of the reasons it's not seen as lucrative a place to go work as maybe like a makeup company or a film studio or a film company or something like that, or advertising and public relations all seem so glamorous. And automotive doesn't seem as glamorous, and I think that's automotive's fault. But then you have somebody like Claudia Marquez speaking for your brand. Looks pretty glamorous to me.
Yes, Claudia is the glam of the industry.
She is. She definitely brings the whole spectrum of not only number smart, planning smart, major industry smart, but also you look at their cars, you look at their products, and they're really beautiful. And then you see someone like her leading that, and you think, wow, that really is a place that I want to be. I love seeing her in that role for that reason as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Natalie, for leading this conversation and for being my co-host. Natalie is also our producer. Steph Howard is our editor. Our music is by Envato. You can find this podcast as well as all of our podcasts anywhere that you subscribe. Here on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, anywhere else that carries podcasts. You can find all of our stories as well as our podcasts over at A Girl's Guide to Cars. And we look forward to seeing you next time on What Drives Her. Bye, everyone.
Bye.